People come from all over the world to walk down St. Mark's Place. All over the world.
When everybody's got a new direction.
It's in so many bucks. It's incredible.
And everybody swings to rock and roll.
I mean, we're moving in here. That's awesome.
My baby left me in depression.
I've been on the block since the 70s, yeah.
My baby left me lost self-control.
Yeah, it's changed a lot, but, you know, it's still pretty fucking shitty around here. Let's face it.
Well, a lot of the stores have been closing, and it seems like mostly like Japanese restaurants and stuff coming in, which is okay.
Because where are you going to get the history? Where are you going to get the passion? New York City's about passion and grit and lust and turning it around and love and freedom.
The East Village has been getting better over the years, regardless, so St. Mark's just has to keep up with it.
Depression, rock and roll. Depression, rock and roll. Depression, rock and roll. Depression, rock and roll.
Gentrification can happen any number of ways, but it almost always, it always results in the transformation of property values, as well as the transformation of property uses in a particular urban area.
Well, I think, first of all, I think it's changed, but I don't think it's changed at all. It's still St. Mark's Place. It'll always be St. Mark's Place. And in having like hit the block when I was like 16 years old and now being 46, I've seen it go through a lot of changes. But as my boss says, who is one of my icons, like this store, this is the most famous rock and roll clothing store probably left in America. Everyone's dressed here, from like Joey Ramone to Debbie Harry to Iggy Pop, and they still come in. The Steven Tylers, the Liv Tylers, and the new breed and the new styles, but it all remains the same. And I'm talking about it through clothes because that's my eye through history. And it's probably still the biggest block in New York with mohawks and stuff like that. But to watch the original Electric Circus go down and that big building go up that looks so awful and it to look like a strip mall over there is fucking gross.
You know, this building here that you're talking about
Used to be a really big sort of hippie, congregation area in the 60s, and
it's actually been turned into like a new set of stores.
then it went on to become this kind of, drug rehab clinic and community center and all these different things.
If I'm right, a hostel. And it was really shady and really sketchy.
And now that building is gone, and that's where the Supercuts and the Chinese restaurant is being built and the Chipotle. So, I mean, people were kind of been out of shape about that.
I mean, that's where Andy Warhol started music. Where would society be without Andy Warhol? That's where the Velvet Underground played with Andy Warhol, and Nico, God rest her soul. That's where punk rock began, and what's kind of fucking pathetic is these little kids don't even know what a Lou Reed or a Joey Ramone is.
And it was one of the only buildings that's privately owned that much space, which is why it was sold. But the rest of these buildings are all, I'm sure they're all privately owned.
This is Royal Unisex Salon. It's one of the famous places, East Village. So this place been here like for around more than 50 years. This is new barber shop across the street. It is not competition for us. They have their own clients. We have no problem with them. We know no one of our clients, nobody goes there, and we know this for sure.
And I do miss the old St. Mark's Theater. You know what I mean? Where you could go in and just be you. You know what I mean? Whether you were sitting next to an old lady or a punk rocker smoking a joint, eating his popcorn, dropping it on his lap, and you could see a movie for like $5.
I mean, this place across the street's a joke. Actually, the original New York Milkshake Company, that's like a bit, for tourists. Like they charge like $5 for a milkshake.
And then came the Gap. That was my first broken heart. But the Gap's no longer there. Now it's a pizza place, and it's changed.
I think I wouldn't like it.
I think it's just some of the stores that have closed, or
like Johnny Cash tribute.
in the summer the kids always come, but
And some of the buildings that have been sold or renovated, they were in the process of that before any kind of large-scale gentrification anyway.
So I've seen a lot, or Spacely, who used to run the block with Johnny Thunders back in the day. You know what I mean? And Johnny Thunders and the New York Dolls are a piece of American history. It's like the Ramones are history. New York City named a street after Joey Ramone. That's pretty fucking deep in what he gave culture.
I think it's weird that Continental is now next door to Continental was like the oldest pizza place, and now it's like a health food, soy, right? I mean chickpea, right?
And where he started in CBGB's, NYU wants to take over the building. And there's nothing against NYU, I'm just using names and places to make a big picture smaller and something to relate to.
And I know a lot of people that wouldn't eat there since it opened, and now they do eat there. They wouldn't eat there because they were like so pissed it wasn't the pizza place, and then when they did eat there, they're like, damn, the food's really good. It's actually like a good thing.
So you can paint the biggest, ugliest building, or you can paint over Gringo's face over there, God rest his soul, who died a junkie, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
But other than that, I don't think it's changed that much. I've been coming here for 8 years. It ain't changed that much.
There's a lot more places that have changed besides this place.
More drastically. Like the Lower East Side.
And what scares me more is the boneheads and people like that. The poor people are the kids that come from suburbia and think they know what it's all about. Let's use the skinhead culture on the block. Fucking clueless. That's why we joke and call them boneheads. You don't deserve to fucking live here in a $50 apartment. Maybe that's why they're $1,000. You know what I mean? Because, you just go around beating people up when it was all about freedom and society. The real deal was a skinhead would be a bartender in his skirt all fucking tattooed with a tranny dancing on the bar next to him and a black little punk rock boy customer. This whole idea of what culture is today is so fucking gay. That's gay.
Lower class residents are displaced. There sometimes are contingency plans that purport to help them find new places to live. Often the residents feel, or the former residents feel like it's what they're offered is a poor replacement for their community. And there's usually a great deal of discontent about that.
Yeah. Many of my friends have had to move on or leave New York. I've watched a lot of society have to leave. And the smaller poor people, and it's broken my heart.
I mean, there's a lot more character. Well, there's just as much character in Brooklyn now as there is in this area, if not more.
If I wasn't blessed and fell into what I fell into, I wouldn't be able to afford to live here. And I live on Wall Street, all right? I live on Wall Street, but I come here every day.
You see a lot more yuppies around here than Brooklyn, that's for sure.
And I've watched, and people can't come here anymore unless you're a little rich boy with your parents and your parents' charge card.
Well, I live in Brooklyn. I think people are just moving out of the city, or you have a lot of roommates. Either one.
But to see that big, ugly monstrosity and the amount of money they're going to charge to live there, or to live in this building, how much it costs to live upstairs is just not okay.
Yeah, no one's really been able to afford living here for a long time anyway, so anything that's been happening recently isn't going to really affect that too much, I think.
Real estate companies pay people to just move in and out of apartments
Just
to up the rent. Like it's all under the radar, but they live in apartments for free for a few months and then they just move out and they move to another apartment and just keep jacking up the rent.
But they can't do that around here.
And the developers often utilize the power of the state to make gentrification happen or to help it along. And there's lots of scholarship on that process, how sometimes certain policing practices are implicated in the process of gentrification.